Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So this is the second podcast, and it is basically focused on the travels that I've done recently. And just to start with some of the background, in the last podcast, and I'll share the link for that, I shared the goals behind the series of these audio recordings, these messages, and they are divided between 5 goals. One is to gain marifat, but first we need to understand what does marifat mean, and then try to understand what are the different types of marifat. For example, marifat of haqq, marifat of Allah, marifat of imams. Then we wanted to understand that marifat of Allah drives marifat of the imams, and their marifat drives marifat of Allah. So this is a very virtuous cycle that we need to start or embark on. And then the third was marifat of Allah strengthens taqwa, and taqwa is the head of iman. The fourth was taqwa and marifat of Allah allows us to focus on marifat of haqq, because Allah himself is haqq. And lastly, this doesn't mean that we leave this life and sit in a secluded world. We have to work hard and gain marifat while living in the context of this world, so that we can make a difference in this world, in the humanity, for the betterment of our brothers. So those are the primary goals that I wanted to achieve with these series, and it's not going to happen in one day. In fact, we talked about 5 topics that we'll be focusing on, and they will be linked to the primary goals. So for example, the first topic was to understand what is the situation of Muslims in the world, and discuss those from a lens of situation in India, China, Burma, Yemen, and in other parts of the Muslim world. And then especially talking about the situation of Shias in different parts of the world. Secondly, talking about what are the Shia heights, thinking about haqq, intizar, waiting for the 12th Imam, and the concept of marifat in itself. And I'm focusing on marifat multiple times is because this is the key to differentiation between how can we make a difference, because we can go to Hajj and come back and do not have a difference in our lifestyle. We can do majalis and don't change, and that is because we do not have the true essence of marifat of the imams. So that is very important. The third topic that we would like to focus was to understand the problems of the Shia community. For example, vision, actions, effort, solutions, responsibilities. Fourthly, we wanted to understand overall topics around overall society, grooming, careers, and politics. And lastly, we wanted to understand and talk about the history and lessons from the history, because those are very important in understanding what happened at what time and what were the reactions that we can leverage and understand. The success for these series is through engagement and through feedback, not through content, not through the depth of the content. I would start by saying that if engagement is there, that is the essence. It's not about what we talk about, it's about what is communicated. So I would start with my recent trip for Umrah, and throughout, it was a very short trip. It was only like 7 days, few days in Medina and few days in Mecca. But during this trip, it was a very unique trip. I came across so many insights, so many lessons that I composed a short book. It can be called a booklet, and I'll be using that booklet of my lessons and what actually happened as a guiding post to talk about that trip. And if someone is interested, feel free to reach out, and I'll be more than happy to send that over via email. We can think about the book, and it's divided into two parts. First is the overview of the trip, the actual what happened, so that people who want to go, they have a perspective. It's not very detailed like my travel experience, not like that. It's just a high level of what we did, but then there are a lot of lessons and insights within each items. For example, we went to Jannat al-Baqi, but what did we see? What did I see in Jannat al-Baqi? Because women are not allowed to go into Jannat al-Baqi. What did I see in the Mosque of the Prophet? What about Bab Jibrail, where Angel Jibrail has used to come and say salam on the door of Hazrat Fatima Zahra. So each lesson and insight will dedicate a short podcast to it, and ultimately all of these will and should link back to the ultimate goal of gaining marifat, which will bring us closer to Haqq, enable us to understand Haqq, make us stronger to support Haqq, and create a layer of unification that will change the way we behave. And again, this is not just this travel, these are all the 5 things that I mentioned which will make this happen. So right now, this is not only a dream, it is the need of time. And it is need of time because if we don't do it, someone else will do it. Allah says in Quran that Allah will create a nation that obeys if you do not obey. So why not us? Why don't we gain that marifat and make the difference? And this is the question that I've been struggling with while looking at fellow Shias across the world, whether in Pakistan, Iraq, Iran, Syria, United States, Canada, UK, and many other places. This is a fundamental question that I've been asking myself as I have visited different places, that we are pre-consumed with our lives and ignore our responsibilities towards our brothers in faith and towards the broader humanity as the followers of the signs and the hujjah of Allah for the entire humanity till the end of times. So it is our responsibility to take a step in this direction and start this dialogue. If I can link this theory and ambition with tangible actions that come across and that we can take as a group and help others to think about these actions, that would be an amazing success. I firmly believe in 2 things. First, a man only can make an effort, and the results come from Allah and are accelerated by the intercession and the du'as of the Aimma Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. So our action is key, our effort is key. The results are not upon us. And the second one is also that's also one thing that I truly believe in, that one person cannot bring a change. We need to work together to make something happen. And therefore I am open to having a dialogue with any of the listeners, any of my friends, any of the people who want to have a dialogue, and also make it available, record the dialogue and make it available on this forum for others to listen and understand. We are in it together. Either we succeed in this world together or we will fail in this world together. However, the hereafter is a different story. As I mentioned in my first audio, that there's a verse in Surah Al-Araf about people who were warning people who used to transgress regarding fishing on Saturday, and these people who were transgressing were not listening to the warners. So some other people asked the warners, why are you warning these transgressors while you know that they are not going to listen to you and they will be punished? The warners replied, so that we have an excuse on the day of judgment before Allah. Similarly, for us, the effort, if we make an effort, we will be answerable for the effort. At least we tried. If we do not make an effort, we will be answerable. Why did we not try? So let's try together. Till next time, Assalamu alaikum, and please provide your feedback.